Oh, wait, wait. I didn't realize it was that late. All right, we're gonna call the regular council meeting of the city of Center Line to order. It's Monday, May 2nd, 7:30. We can all please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, roll call. Let it be known we have a full council. Adoption of the agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and City Council, we do have two additions. Number one will be item 7.5. Proposed letter of agreement.
7.6.
7.6, thank you.
There's already a 7.5, sorry.
My bad. Letter of agreement with the ASME local 1103 regarding uniform allowance. And 7.7, letter of agreement with the ASME local 1103 authorizing city manager and DPW superintendent to hire full-time DPW employee while current full-time DPW employee continues to be on long-term disability.
Is there any other additions or deletions? There being none, motion to adopt the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion. We adopt the amended agenda.
Motion to have support. Support. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, we have administrative responses to issues or questions raised during previous meetings. Do you have anything?
Helen Street signs have been moved around. I think we're good there now, other than continued enforcement.
Is that it?
I think that's all I can remember. Is there
Yeah,
anything
that
else?
was about it. Helen Street
That's all that I remember.
She was blocking it.
All right, next we have audience comments. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to be heard?
Mayor, my name is Donovan McKinney. Running for state representative in the new 14th district. Some of you know, due to redistricting, it's quite interesting the way these districts are drawn up. You know, the new 14th consists of parts of Northeast Detroit, goes into Warren, as well as the entire city of Center Line. As you can imagine, I'm born and raised in this district on the Northeast side. You know, I come out of SEIU, healthcare union, the largest healthcare union in the state, as their political director. Now I'm the national political director with Climate Power, a national climate justice organization. You know, I have weekly meetings with the Biden administration, sometimes Biden himself, Secretary Buttigieg, Granholm, just talking about this transition to clean energy and away from fossil fuels. And so Michigan, I envision a Michigan where we are a Silicon Valley when it comes to renewable energy and the manufacturing of those renewables and ensuring that those jobs stay right here in Southeast Michigan. I'm also been appointed by our Governor Gretchen Whitmer to the state's first ever Environmental Justice Council. I was appointed back in January 2020. I like to call it BC, before COVID. Yeah, this is COVID is something else. But essentially, was proud of the work we've done there. We got the initial $2 million for the Water Restart Grant Program during the beginning of the pandemic, as well as the governor's, the state's water moratorium shutoff that the Supreme Court ended up overturning due to some Republican challenges. But I'm proud of the work we've done there. There's some issues that we're going to be doing around environment, you know, union jobs, making sure that people are, you know, families are, you know, economically secure, you know, as well as criminal justice reform, things of that nature. But I'll keep it brief. But people can visit my website at donovanmckinney.com. And I'm just here letting folks know in Centerline that we're going to be working. We're going to be working tirelessly. You're going to see me around in my team. You know, we're already connected in Lansing. I already, you know, was legislative director up there, so I know the ins and outs like the back of my hand. And for those folks who don't know, I ran before in 2020 during the pandemic for state rep in the current District 3. It was an 8-way primary. I came in second place behind Sharif Tanadar. For those folks who are not familiar with him, he ran for governor. He spent over $1 million in our state house race, which I can't believe, and he's running for Congress now. But yeah, we got a lot of support, and I know one of your colleagues, Aaron, the councilman, is running, and I look forward to meeting with you and, you know, discussing what can we do for the city of Cinder Line. Because, you know, the state, I've been hearing, I've been meeting a lot of folks in Macomb County. I understand it, you know, as I understand it, you know, there's some issues that go on south of 696, and people feel left out and not included. Whether it's come to, you know, different projects when it comes to infrastructure, roads, anything like that. But I'm going to ensure that every single voice in Center Line and South Warren and Northeast Detroit is heard. So again, thank you for your time. Donovan McKinney's my name. Yeah, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else? You're with him?
Oh, yeah, he's one.
All right. There being no other comments, we'll close that portion of the meeting. Council action. Request for approval of resolution 2022-004 GLWA versus Highland Park.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and City Council members, as you may recall, our county executive and Public Works Director had a press conference regarding the ongoing issues with regards to Highland Park debt payments being paid by
Us.
us and other communities throughout the Metro Detroit area. And we would like the city council to consider authorizing the city treasurer to withhold all future Highland Park debt payments issued to the city of Center Line and establish an escrow account for same until such time as the state of Michigan has addressed the Highland Park water debt issue. Attached to this is a resolution indicating our support of the monies being placed in escrow and insisting that our governor take steps towards addressing this issue. I could read to the record if you'd like the resolution.
No,
Okay.
I mean, unless if anybody on council would like it read into the record, it's a fairly simple situation. Highland Park has been on hold from paying their water bills and their sewer bills for a long period of time. In the meantime, we have been assessed charges in other county and other municipalities to cover that debt. And it should not be that way. And that's the way we feel. That's the way I feel anyways. And that's the way a lot of the municipalities feel, and it's understandable. Does that sum it up?
Yeah, you summed it up pretty good.
Are there any questions?
I just want to make sure I understood this right. That it's just gonna cost us $420 to establish this bank account, and it says plus monthly transaction fees. Is this a yearly, something we have to pay yearly, or? I'm stuttering on my words a bit because,
We're looking for another bank.
but how much is this gonna cost us to hold the money, or if at all?
At this point in time, if we go with our main depository, that's the cost to have one bank account open. However, I'm in the process of exploring other options. But as of now, if we were to act on our current bank, that's the cost to the city, the $420.
And that would be it, just
For a
set-
year, per year.
Per year.
And we have no idea how long this will go on because it's been going on for years already.
But that is absolutely ridiculous. If we're doing business with this bank and we have been doing business with this bank and they're going to charge us that, so we definitely have to find out. I'm sorry, but that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. In this
Our
day.
city treasurer will try to find the least cost effective way to addressing this.
Yeah, that was my only issue with it was the payment costs for the bank account.
So it's a negligible cost to do what we want to do, but it's just a cost that shouldn't be being charged.
Understood. That's why I'm going to be looking.
Thank you very much.
And my goal is to delay the escrow until I get to a point where I can actually find someplace at a lower cost. Because at the end of the year, even if I withhold from the last payment, it works.
And as you well know, there's
Well, let's try to get the bank as soon as possible so we can get this done, because I don't want anybody calling me on the phone saying, did you do it yet? Did you do it yet? Because they've been calling me on the phone asking if I've got this. in my account yet, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have anything else?
I'm good. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? There being nobody else, I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion that the council waive the reading and approve resolution 2022-04 GLWA versus Highland Park to establish an escrow account to replace anticipated future Highland Park water and sewer debt payments set to be paid by the ratepayer of Sunderland.
I have a motion, do I have support?
support.
All in favor, aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. Request for consideration to repeal and amend Chapter 10 Animals, Article 1 in general sections 10.2 through 10.8 and 10.10, and Article 2 exotic animals sections 10.31 through 10.35.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and City Council, as you are aware, the city attorney has been continuously reviewing existing ordinances and making recommendations for specific amendments, additions, or repeal of same. The purpose of this review is to ensure that the city of Centerline has ordinances that can withstand constitutional scrutiny and remove ordinances that are no longer necessary or are outdated based upon current social economic conditions of the community. I would not recommend reading everything into record, but as you can see, the items that are recommended for change are clearly highlighted.
Mhm.
And we have included the city attorney's recommendations, both redlined and clean versions for each of the ordinances in chapter 10 of the Code of Ordinances.
I only had one question on this so far. I don't know if anybody else did, but does this affect what we did about goats?
It doesn't change anything about that part of
Okay.
right, no. This is just sort of an expansion.
I
to
just
the
wanted to make sure because I didn't see goats anywhere in there. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on with the goats?
goats and swine.
I did it, well, just a question. We still do, I noticed they took out some of the bird feeding policies in there. So we have no recourse against residents that are overfeeding birds and have multiple bird feeders out. And
We
then,
have recourse in the sense that if the bird feed is hitting the ground, then we can write them up for that. Because bird feeders do have to have catch pans.
Right.
If that feed is hitting the ground, you're in violation of the ordinance.
it was taken out because I'm not saying.
No, that's not
no,
part of
no.
this.
Okay.
You know, that was kept in because that is a legitimate health, safety, general welfare concern,
I want you to arrest the squirrels that are knocking it off.
right?
Cover my neighborhood.
Put cuffs on those little
I'm
animals.
telling you. Need some squirrel cuffs. Are there any more questions on this?
Paul might appreciate the cuffs for squirrels. You know, additional equipment all day long. right?
Anything else, guys, on this?
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Entertain a motion.
I make the motion that the council waive the reading and approve the request to repeal and amend chapter 10, animals, article 1 in general section 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.6, 10.8, and 10.10. In article 2, exotic animals, section 10.31, 10.32, 10.33, 10.34, and 10.35 as presented.
I have a motion, do I have support?
I'll support.
All in favor, aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Request for approval of citywide patching program for 2022.
Yes, I'm scrolling to it, sorry.
There was a lot of paperwork in that last animal.
I know, I know. Mary Ann is very efficient. Requesting city council approve a citywide road patching program for 2022. Mr. McKinney is here to answer any questions you may have for him.
This is gonna be a citywide patch program. We were gonna, the water main repairs were in there, but the city treasurer wants to remove that and take that out of water and sewer for the repairs. Bus stops will be, will get reimbursed from Spark Bus. And the other repairs throughout the city at the sections of road that are falling apart. We would like to get approximately $200,000 of work done. And this is by the same contractor that we've had the past 2 years, and he's left the contract open, so it's the same pricing that we've had for the last 2 years.
Boy, isn't that a beautiful thing in this day and age?
You did good work too.
And are they gonna be tearing out like bad sections of the road and replacing those like on the side streets that this is partially for?
Yeah.
Alright.
No full patch,
Next week, concrete.
all concrete.
Drain base or catch basins and.
Catch bases that need to be rebuilt will be rebuilt.
All right, any questions on that? There are none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that the council approve the request for the 2022 concrete road patch program and approve the only cement for the program as recommended by AEW.
I have a motion, do I have support?
Support.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Request of approval to add $9,900 to the 2020 CCTV sanitary sewer project. You might as well stay right there.
Yes, we are requesting additional funding for the 2020 CCTV sanitary sewer project. This is due to the lift station drains or drain, I should say, that needs to be cleaned out as part of the project. Original contract was for $338,295. Currently, there's 7,000 remaining in that contract. So we're going to have lift or pipe tech finish the work and add this to the project.
Right.
Sounds
We
like
have
it's
to add
gonna
an
be done.
additional $9,900 to
Get her done.
Right.
Makes sense to me. Any questions on that?
Stand for any other projects? Is this pretty much it for the rest of the year?
This will be it for the sewer project. In 2 years.
As you well may recall, this is a part of the ACO compliance that we've been trying to complete. This is another stage that now is going to be finished, and we get to move on to the next one. So,
Step by step.
nice step.
Yep, baby steps. If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to council approve the additional $9,900 to the 2020 CCTV sanitary sewer project to have the remaining section of the sewer pipe cleaned.
I have a motion, do I have support? Support. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Additional payment to Yo and Yo for the audit.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and City Council, this is really unusual. We pay Yo and Yo and agreed to a specific amount for the audit. And we have the treasurer here to answer any questions in relation to this. But we read the contract, we read what the contract stated as to the audit. There was a provision in the contract that allows for additional charges so long as they notify us of those additional charges. That never happens. And so we did speak with the city attorney. She believes that we have a contract dispute here, but we thought it'd be best that before we take this any further for litigation, with Yo and Yo, that we would give the council the opportunity to take a look at it and determine whether or not they're agreeable to paying the additional 5,000, is it?
5,000, yes.
I just can't make a recommendation here because we see that there's a conflict and there's some vagueness in regards to the contract. However, our city treasurer has informed me that he was never notified as required under the contract that there would be additional charges for some of the additional work that they claim to have done as part of the annual audit.
And that's obvious in the email thread that was attached.
Right.
Correct. So,
Who else? Are there other people that can audit for us if we decide not to use Yo and Yo in the future?
Yes.
Separate from who is doing our books so that it's not a conflict. Well, it looks like they may have done the work, but they did not notify us. To me, they should have notified us, and they're claiming that they wrote off a whole bunch already.
yeah,
And
13,500. We're like, wait a minute.
Essence of
They sure did a heck of a lot more work if they had to do that. So,
Yeah, and it was only based on stuff that our city treasurer was essentially asking for from them, I believe,
I
right?
actually was correcting the document. I have requested a draft
to see it before.
to
and you
see it
wanted-
before. They said, no, we'll give it to you after it goes through compliance. That was a first for me in my entire career. So it goes through compliance, and granted, we're coming up on the holiday, trying to get this out by year end. Sure, they probably spend time, I spend time, but I asked for it a week in advance. If they would have given it to me, I probably would have caught everything that they had to correct after the fact.
In my eyes, I don't see where we should be paying this.
I agree.
I was a little bit confused by it as well. I don't think that's fair not to let us know about that, about the extra charges.
Well, and not to give Joe the opportunity
To
when he
review.
requested it,
Yes, that's the-
to review it before.
Yeah, it's our.
So it's
So
just.
the action that could be taken here, Mr. Mayor and City Council, is you can do a motion to approve or a motion to deny the request. But we would like the City Council to take formal action.
Well, if there's no questions, I'll entertain a motion to deny the request.
I'll support.
No, you have to make. the
I'll make a motion. I'm sorry. I thought you were making a motion. Sorry.
motion.
I'll make a
I
motion.
can't make a
Deny.
motion. That's disallowed. I can only ask for one.
I'll make a motion to deny.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have support?
Support.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the additions, and I don't know if I got them in order, but I'm gonna go with the first one that I have.
7.5 would be consideration to approve proposed letter of agreement with Michigan Council Number 25, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, ASME, Local 1103, authorizing the uniform allowance for the full-time employee in the amount not to exceed $300 annually. As you well know, or may know, right now, we have an agreement to purchase and launder work clothes, correct, Gary? That's what the contract currently is. But we've been doing it a little kind of off of the contract, right?
We purchase 6 pair of jeans per year. There is no laundry. They take care of their own.
Contract says laundry.
I know, but they agreed that if we bought the jeans and
Right.
did away with the uniform company, that they would go along with that.
So instead of us purchasing the jeans, the work pants, they're going to be given the $300 and they can purchase whatever jeans they wish.
No, they
Wait,
can,
whoa,
they can
whoa, whoa.
purchase 6 pair of jeans up to $300.
Right, that's what I mean.
They bring me the receipt.
Okay.
And then
Then they get reimbursed.
I take it to Joe and it gets reimbursed.
All right,
All right, now that I see the letter of understanding, I feel better. No rips, no holes, no frayed areas.
Yeah.
That's like buying any pair of jeans they want. I
yeah, no.
don't even let my wife do that.
They have to be worth.
Come home with all kinds of holes in them. I earn the
I was
holes and I get my jeans.
I
Pays extra
forgot
for
jeans
holes in her
go with
jeans.
holes.
Yep, is that all? All right, so they have to bring you the receipts and then they get
Right.
reimbursed. We just don't give them $300 to say go buy some jeans. All right, good.
And they have to buy the 6 pair.
Any questions on that?
I know this is full-time. Do we do anything for the part-time employees? Or
All they get are t-shirts and a sweatshirt during the winter, but that's it.
That's all the questions. I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the proposed letter of agreement with the Michigan Council number 25, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Ask me, local 1103, authorizing uniform allowance for each full-time employee in an amount not to exceed $300 annually.
A motion to have support.
I'll support.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next,
Yes, Mr. Mayor and City Council, consideration to approve proposed letter of agreement with the Michigan Council number 25, ASME, local 1103, authorizing city manager and DPW superintendent to hire a full-time DPW employee while a current full-time DPW employee continues to be on long-term disability due to a workplace accident.
absolutely. Need help. And I really want to thank you so much for getting those banners up. I really appreciate that. And I would have helped. I was serious about that. It's that important to me. Are there any questions on that?
You could add them direct traffic.
I've done that. Whatever you need.
Traffic.
I'd have went in the bucket.
I don't know if we want you in the
Yeah.
bucket.
I know you probably wouldn't let me in the bucket, but I would have
Had
went.
to go open that bucket.
I don't have any questions on this.
If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that the city council approve the letter of agreement with the ASME.
Got a motion to have support. Support. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have a consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody in the audience would like pulled for individual consideration? Are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody in the council would like pulled for individual consideration? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve all the items under the consent agenda.
Have a motion. Do I have support?
I'll support.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda, we have council comments. Councilman Hudson.
Prayer is on Thursday, May 5th.
Always. Nothing's gonna stop the National Day of Prayer.
Exactly. Also, on May 14th, the citywide Centerline cleanup day over at DPW from 9 to 3. All I have, Mayor.
All right, and Councilman Delecto.
Well, congratulations to the 2 scholarship winners for the Paula Marjorie Scholarship. I don't believe I should say their names just yet, correct?
Probably not just yet.
Yeah.
Soon.
Just want to make sure because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But and then for our economic development director, what is the update on the 10 Mile and Van Dyke corner with Park Towers? The update with the corner construction?
Just got word too, didn't we?
Yeah, so spoke with the property manager earlier last week, and they expect to finish up their sign by the end of the month. So hopefully that's good news and hopefully it'll be up
By the end,
by Independence Festival. They're just waiting on DTE to remove some cables that are kind of in the vicinity. They had some cables moved last week and they're hoping to get some moved this week. Hopefully we can finish up that project.
Inside updates are all done basically then, or?
Inside is not there. It's about, I think they have 2 or 3 more stories. You can tell from the outside.
Yeah.
You know, the top, they're going from top to bottom. I was not given a timetable on finishing the inside.
No problem. Thank you. And
That
that's
would
it for
be
me.
really exciting if that gets done before the Independence Festival. That'd be really nice. That's all you had, sir?
Yep, that's all.
Councilman Cochran?
2 councilmen down there kind of.
Stole all your thunder, huh?
Right,
What's up with
no,
that?
that's all right. Day of prayer, the VFW will be out there. I believe myself, our quartermaster, and our new commander. So, way that ended. Our Elvis night at the VFW, thank you very much, was well attended. We had a blast, so turned out great. We had Jack Huffman there with his ruling his fire and batons and everything, and everybody had a blast, so.
Very cool.
Had a good night.
Councilman Mueller. Oh, I'm sorry. Jim.
No bumble set.
I would like to congratulate our Centerline Library. They were nominated 2022 Michigan Humanities Award for Community Impact Partner. Now, I don't know everything that goes into it, but I know there's a select few in the state of Michigan that gets nominated for this in our small little city, and the work that our staff and our Centerline Library does was nominated. So kudos to your staff and to our library. You do a great job and keep up the great work. And on that note, there's also lots of good programs going on, and I forgot my folder with everything on, and I know there's trivia night coming up. Trivia night coming up. We got water. There's some of them right there. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. Watercolor painting too. You got Stephen Mac Jones on May 13th, the author. Just got a lot of stuff going on there. So if you're bored in the city, head out to the library. They got lots going on. You also have painting in the park, but that's in June or July, and many others to come. I have another question, and maybe I missed it in the packet, but last meeting, we were going to get a list for our vacant building ordinance and how many buildings are registered on that. Did I miss it or?
No, I don't think so. Brandon, we need to just get a list together of all the vacant spaces in the city. Identify whether or not they need to be registered or not for vacant building. Follow-up though was, we know that Danny Petroff and Dave are working diligently on the most severe vacant properties, Balkan Hall being one of them. What was another one that we talked about recently?
Joy one, but that one I believe is addressed.
Okay. The former Toyota site was the other one. But, you know, there is some progress. The councilman is looking for a list of what buildings we have identified as vacant and which ones will be required to register as a vacant property.
Mr. Mayor, according to the financial statements that were provided, there is one vacant building registered in the city. I don't know which one, but there is one.
Well, we know that's wrong.
Yeah. Okay,
Well, note that even though a building's vacant, doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be a registered vacant building. It may already have been inspected for rental or some other inspection. Okay, so I just want to make sure that that's understood. There may be buildings that you see as vacant who are registered as rentals. And if they're registered as rentals, they don't have to register as a vacant building, right? Because they've been inspected. key behind the vacant building ordinance was to catch those that fall through the cracks, right?
Right, which, you know, you see the old Colombo building, they obviously must be registered as a rental. Or the ones down by Stevens and all, you know, all the ones that you know that there's nobody in there. And they're not, you know, there's no traffic going in and out. And it would just be nice to know when talking to people, say, you know, we can't do this because it's, one, you made a good point, you know, register as a rental, but I don't know that. And it'd be good to have a list to know when you tell residents, okay, you know, we would love to, you know, do something with them, but we can't right now legally, right?
Right.
So if we can get that together.
So we'll put together a list of vacant parcels or buildings, tenant spaces. We'll put that list together and we'll identify which category it falls under. Is it a certified building? Is it a rental? Is it a vacant? Because one way or the other, they have to have that building inspected. Did you know that the Balkan Hall was inspected at one point
So,
earlier?
Mayor, Council, yeah, it was, I talked with
Roger?
Mr. Finch last week. And I believe it was inspected, I think, last year. It's due. Again, that's a work in progress. A lot of the buildings you see on Van Dyke that we've noticed in our travels is that the buildings are for lease, for lease. They are properly owned. There are a few properties with us driving around and seeing any type of vehicles in there, we pop in and talk to, but again, that's just getting lucky. The majority of the properties on Van Dyke, we've noticed that are vacant, the buildings are properly owned under a, real estate company or whatever, but they're just trying to lease them out. But we'll get the list going. But surprisingly, there's not a lot of just abandoned vacant buildings in the city. I mean, we have questions about a few of them. I know Officer Allen had made contact with one of the ones that we're concerned about today, actually. So work in progress. We'll get that list and for you, but just know that a lot of the properties you see are just trying to be leased out.
Yeah, that list would be helpful. Okay, thank you.
And thanks for this report.
Oh,
That was good too, yes.
yes. Oh, I got a question. What's the courtesy notice since you added that?
So-
to
Yeah, sorry.
Sure, just jump right in there.
So what I try to do is the courtesy notice, instead of just typing up a 10-day notice, and a lot of the residents in the community just don't realize what they're in violations of. So the public relation contacts you see at the top are contacts that we make, we get out, we see a violation or potential violation, we introduce ourselves, and we speak with the resident. If for whatever reason all personal contact can't be made, we type up a courtesy notice, a letter, it's a please and thank you with the city ordinance attached to it. And it's just all about education. And I hate doing this, but we pretty much had 100% success with doing that. It's probably why you're not seeing violations at zero. To be honest with you, that's my goal. And I mean, but the courtesy notices are just that. It's a courtesy notice. It's a please. It's a thank you. It's a hey, just in case you're busy or you just don't know. You're on our radar, and there is no really, oh, you got to get this done in this amount of time. It's just address it in a timely manner, and you're good to go.
So this plays into the fact that we wanted to make sure that residents and taxpayers understood that our goal was compliance. It's not to take their money. So we started out in a nice way. We explain to them what needs to be done. We educate, and then we move on to enforcement if they ignore us after those first couple, courtesy contacts. So
I think it's a great idea.
So help spread the education of the ordinances, basically, and that's really, really great.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what it really boils down to.
I mean, we want these guys to provide other services that are available to residents who cannot afford to address the issues. So if we got senior citizens who qualify for chores, then our guys point them in that direction and help them out, try to get them, compliant without, taking it as so far as where we have to end up in front of a 37th district court judge.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
there's other things that we come across, educating ourselves, like if you have a broken propane tank, Home Depot charges you $25, Van Dyke Gas charges you only $5. A lot of people surprisingly don't know that GFL will not take a mattress unless it's wrapped up. We've done a lot of those the last few weeks. All this is going to be included in our updated code enforcement part of the website of the city, just information and stuff. So that's what the courtesy notices are all about. And
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Rich, did you have anything else?
That was it. Thank you, Mayor.
That's it. All right. I had a couple things. Independence Festival is coming up. First week in June. Hopefully everybody can attend. If you could attend, sir. Hopefully.
I heard about it. It's the best thing.
I think you'll enjoy it. We had a good time. There are raffle tickets on sale at the rec building and at City Hall. We have a 1981 Honda Passport moped. It's the first prize and it is in nice condition.
I think I seen them posted.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Really been restored.
Everybody that looks at that wants to buy tickets. So come by and buy some tickets for that. Come join us at the Independence Festival. Did we get 10-mile closure verification?
Yes, there's some, a permit that we have to file with MDOT on that.
But we're good.
Brandon's working on that, but we do have MCRD is on board and they've clarified what we need to do. So we're just taking those steps and Brandon is leading the way for us.
So it's going to be a heck of a party in Centerline that week. We're going to have 10-mile road shut down. So we apologize for that. You're just going to have to go down to, I think, 9 Mile and come across.
That's the detour is 9 Mile, I believe. Yeah.
Or you can just park and come on into
Yeah. I'm sorry, did you talk about cruising 53 too? Or?
No. And we got cruising 53 on Saturday. I'm pretty excited about that because I actually have a vehicle that's going to be entered in cruising 53 this year in honor of Jim Reed.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yep.
I like it.
Is it the truck?
Yep.
There you go.
I got a hold of the truck and I put some good improvements into that truck, putting it back together. And it hasn't been touched in a long time, as you guys can imagine, but he meant it to be looking really good and we're going to make it look really good for him. So
That's awesome.
I mean, you're not gonna.
And
do the
hopefully-
5K run?
hopefully take Diane for a ride.
Oh, yeah, right.
That would be exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cruise is going to be on Saturday. They also have the race in the morning. Lions have a pancake breakfast on Saturday morning at the rec. That's going to be a good thing to have. And all kinds of stuff going on that weekend. So next, I wanted to talk about Van Dyke Road Diet. I see a lot about that. We're talking a lot about that, saying in the report that we're going to get drawings on that. Do we even know what we want the road diet to look like and how that's going to look? And have we talked to anybody? Have we had input from the community? What's our approach on this next?
We're having the engineer do some design work, conceptual.
With some
So
ideas
that
of what
we
it might
can
look like.
put some ideas out there. In general, what we think would be a good idea is to have the property owners identify from a list of choices of how that section in front of their business can look. So they may want on-street parking, they may want landscaping, they may want additional space for sidewalk cafe. But we're going to provide them with some ideas and some drawings to get their, fluids running, and you get their heads thinking
Creative
about it.
juices, you mean?
Yes.
Creative-
That's a better way of saying.
Better way to say it. We think that some people may just simply not want to worry about it and not want anything. In those cases, we may just come up with a standard plan for that section. But we like what we see in some towns, some other towns. Rochester was one of the towns that we talked about. And we are talking about safe crosswalks that are aesthetically pleasing, but still very safe. We'll include ballards and barriers to ensure the safety of pedestrians as they stand in the middle of a 5-lane highway, waiting for traffic to clear. But we think that, we're on a good track there right now. So, and then we'll bring it to the attention of the businesses, either by doing door-to-door discussions or bringing everybody together in one room and letting them take a look at it and tell us what they want.
Excellent. Speaking of door to door, we're still looking for sponsors for the Independence Festival as well. So if there's any businesses out there watching, please, we could definitely use your support.
Go to centerlinefestival.org.
Next, I did want to mention, I saw where our governor signed some changes to the Open Meetings Act. And I want to make sure that we look at fine print, make sure that we don't miss anything, because every time they make a law, they don't just make one thing that they talked about in the about recording the meetings. I'm sure there's other stuff in there. I want to make sure that we get that looked at. Make sure we're in compliance. That's all that I had. So city manager's comments.
Yes, I'm very happy to announce that we now have 10 cannabis businesses open. As you may have heard, the word marijuana has basically been removed from just about every law. The marijuana regulatory agency is now called the Cannabis Regulatory Agency. And the word marijuana has been pretty much removed from all of the state laws. and
That
so
cracks
forth.
me up. I was thinking about calling our 10-day notice a happy gram.
All the same, we do have 10 businesses open and they're all doing very well. And they have a nationally recognized holiday, which is the official first opening day of cannabis industry here in Michigan, which was April 20th. They call it 420. And on that day, we did have some issues with regards to parking. But our ordinance enforcement officers and public safety officers got out there and dealt with it. And we think that the problem was overall resolved. There are still some underlying issues, but I have been talking to some property owners and business owners to try and get them to work out some parking lot agreements so that we can further avoid any issues with parking, especially on Liberal Avenue. Liberal is a street that has a lot of semis going in up and down. That street has no parking on both sides. And it's become a bit of an issue with one of the facilities there. And I'm trying to connect our friends over at the Southeast Michigan Indians group with that one business owner, hoping that they can work out a parking agreement to alleviate a lot of future issues that may occur if this continues. So they're busy. That's right.
Well, and I mean, if they're going to have 420 be a day that this is going to happen, then it might not be a bad idea to have some sort of I mean, I know when I've had open houses at my business, I've requested to the city that I be allowed to have parking on on Lawrence. right there for that particular day from this hour to that hour. And we've never had a problem getting that variance for that particular day. And, I mean, if they're gonna be doing stuff like that, we might have to do some traffic control in a situation where we help out the businesses so they'd be able to accommodate whatever they happen to be having. Not, obviously not on a daily basis. That's not what it's there for, but if they're having some sort of special thing, that's another way to go about it too.
Right. Well, again, for me, it's a double-edged sword because you want to make sure that our other businesses, especially one that's, a big taxpayer in the city, is not being disrupted by the activity of several other.
Oh, no, I
businesses.
agree. But, I mean, if we regulate it.
Yeah.
To where you could park on only this side of the street from this hour to that hour, it's better than just having them just start putting cars on both sides of Lawrence parking because they got a big event going on.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing with when we approved them to be able to have marijuana businesses and so on. So we could regulate it and we can make sure that it's done right.
Right.
It's better to have control of the situation than to go try to correct it after you don't.
That is true. So in regards to the businesses, just to be clear, we did receive revenue sharing from the state for 4 facilities. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that we will receive our share for next year. And that's only if none of the other ones open, but we do have potentially 2 more that could open this year. So what did we end up getting per facility, Mr. City Treasurer? 58, was it?
Right? That's what you put Memorial Park?
He's still on the splash pad.
Yeah, I've
Is
been
that-
on it for
He's
5
on
years.
A little bit over 56.
Right out the splash pad thing.
A little bit over 56 for each one.
Now, they are anticipating a reduction at next year's per permit cost, but they have been conservative in the past as well, and I think that they might be right around that anticipated sales for next year. We'll see.
I'm just glad that we got them in the city and that they're regulated.
And you know what? They've really been just super great. I mean, just working well with the city. Every one of these places. Haven't had really too many issues. And they work with us when we have something that's needed to be addressed. So citywide garage sale. Right now, I got a group of residents who are working together to organize a citywide garage sale on May 21st. That is also the day of the flower sale for a beautification commission.
That's right. We forgot to mention that.
I'm sorry.
We forgot to mention the flower sale. That's right. At the gazebo for the
That's right.
21st.
If you wish to be in the garage sale, please contact the city. We will get you to the organizer of that event. It's really just, there's no need for, garage sale permits or anything like that. You simply just need to understand that that counts towards your, one weekend. You get 2 weekends a year that you're allowed to have a garage sale in the city of Centerville. There is no permit fees. You don't have to register your garage sale. Just understand that it's one of those 2. So, all right. Last thing. So we got bids in for the playscapes. And as you can imagine, they were about 300,000 higher than what we anticipated the cost to be. I think we only had one bid, and it was $650,000, I believe. Somewhere in there, is that right? 611, I'm sorry, 611,000 for 3 playscapes. at the three parks.
Oh, for all three?
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
it was
we
for
were
one.
anticipating it to be about 333. And the engineers based that on recent playscapes that they had installed by other clients. So it doesn't make sense. We think the one bid that did come in came in high because he really didn't want the work. So.
And he had no competition.
We did get an email from CDBG. They are asking if we want to consider putting it back out for bid for just Lions Park. And my response to that was, why Lions Park? Because, you know, we have Memorial Park that desperately needs a new playscape. Lions Park does not have a playscape really now. I mean, because the teenagers destroyed it. But it's really not an active park. So you got a choice. You guys can tell me what you want, but know that they're not moving on the $150,000 grant. It's still $150,000. Honestly, I think that the CDBG program needs to double their numbers just so that the money can be used for projects, but
Especially if the projects are gonna be that expensive.
yeah. I mean, but targeting Lions Park, I think is a mistake. Our city engineer thinks that we could target Memorial, its playscape, and do that one with the ADA compliant surface. But that would require the city council and the city to make a financial commitment. What's the amount for Memorial?
I don't know. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I want to say it's around 272. That's
So,
with rubber
I think
mulch.
you're right.
Probably
Around
go-
270. That means that the city would have to come up with the 120.
Yeah, but that's what we're gonna do anyway. We're gonna match it anyway.
Right, but I don't know that we were matching it for 120,000. I think we had way less than that. It was a zero match. Yeah,
We thought we were gonna get all three of those parks done for 150,000.
that was the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's high
We
hopes there.
we were looking at the numbers of the playscapes. The other option is, I mean, I know my DPW superintendent would look at me funny right now. I'm sure he's burning right through.
I own it. Put it together.
The other option is we could have purchased the equipment and have our team put it together, but
You know, that's exactly what I was gonna suggest.
but under the current circumstances, I'm going to say
Well, wait,
we're not really manpowered for it. 5 people, staff.
wait, slow down, slow down. Wait. I think you're onto something here, Dennis.
What about our part-time?
Gary, I'm sorry, man. I had to do it. It was my job, man.
No, that was exactly what I was. No, hear me out. I mean, I worked a lot with Habitat for Humanity for a lot of years. And we built a lot of houses. But we also built a playscape in one of the neighborhoods that we built houses. And that was one of my assignments one year. And it really wasn't that bad. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, and I don't know exactly what the legalities are of it and the liabilities, but we gotta take a look at that. But maybe we could do something where volunteers could come and help put this playscape up or these playscapes up in these parks and have it be a community thing where, you know, some people can help and then maybe some of the people might have a vested interest in these parks afterwards, and they might just watch out for people trying to trash the place.
Yes.
I actually really like that idea.
I think that's a great idea. And I,
Get some
you
community.
know, I mean,
engagement.
our staff could certainly support something like that for sure. There are some aspects of it that probably would still need a contractor's. Prepping the site, I think we could do that. But the pouring of,
We poured the cement ourselves.
yeah, I
I know
mean,
exactly how to do it.
Yeah, the
really-
cement part, but there's a surface that
Just
we.
throw a bag in there and you pour the water.
I'm
They make dry mix now. You just put a bag of cement in now.
You just put the thing in the hole, pour a bag in.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the surface, rubberized surface is a poured surface.
Well, yeah, that stuff we might have to.
But I'm not, I think that's a great idea.
We might be, if we do it that way, we might be able to get it down to 150,000.
Yeah.
Or close,
Close.
but I mean, it's just something to think about. I think you got a great idea there, Mr. City Manager.
Great plan.
He's gonna be in my office first thing. Closing the door behind him,
I know some cities, their reserve firefighters and police officers also help on building not just the playscapes, but also the times for their splash pads too. But that's what
No,
I
you're right.
read,
You're right.
different cities,
Well,
use that. So
Trees.
Our biggest challenge is the number of people. I mean, when we talk about, Chesterfield or Shelby with their place or their splash pads, obviously, those are much bigger communities with
Yes.
larger numbers of people that can step up in a role of volunteer and helping out. But I still think that a concerted effort could be put together here in Centerline, just as we did for the fire truck when
As we do for the trees every
the
year.
trees every year. And
You
so,
know,
yeah, I think that it could be a supported effort that Brandon could put together for us.
look at him just throwing jobs around.
Anyways, but we do have one small minor thing. Whatever we do here, we have to be careful that if we divert from the plan that was approved through a public hearing with regards to CDBG funding, we would have to have another public hearing if there's a change in any of the plans.
What do you mean? Like if we have somebody else do it besides a contractor?
No, I'm not sure about
Same
that
plan.
part of it. I'm not sure about that part of it. There may be some requirements through HUD that might place a limit on who can do the work.
Well, let's.
So we'll have to find that
investigate
out. But I like where we're going with it, for sure. I mean, I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. You thought of it yourself.
Well, you thought of it. I just kind of.
To show you what needs to be done.
Well, yeah, I mean, or, yeah, you gotta have
Yeah,
people.
the
that
license.
shit.
Well, I think we.
We
can
didn't
have
go there knowing
engineer.
how to put up a playscape.
Right.
The guy was telling everybody what to do and he was supervising the situation.
I think the city engineer would be sufficient, because they oversee all our other projects. Why wouldn't they
Right.
oversee that?
agree.
That last bid we got for the playscape, did they break down the park versus? Separately or just one?
Yeah, they did.
Big.
Yeah, we had them break it down by
The park.
park. And it was,
It's the last
I'm looking at the numbers, I'm just shaking my head at. I felt gouged.
Well, I mean, the Memorial Park playscape is really large and it's a big footprint. That might be something that would be a lot to bite off, but after that, the Lions Park and the Rotary Park would not be.
No, those both are, in fact, the Rotary Park footprint is going to be a tad smaller than what it currently is. The Lions one is going to be totally different, but it's mostly exercise type equipment, plus a little climbing rocket of sorts. And we're changing the envelope up towards State Park so that it's visible to the neighbors of the park.
Because they've been clamoring for that to be fixed for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, ever since it was destroyed last year.
Right, right. All right, well, let's
Okay.
get on that.
All right, Brandon's gonna start working on it.
I'm excited. I'm ready to build a playscape already. I'm ready to go.
All right, that's all I got.
I didn't get to put up any banners, so I'm okay.
So,
All right, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to have support. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.
Awesome.
Love want to thank us.
Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, y'all gonna be seeing more of us.